Listen, I know what's been said about making assumptions, but I got 7 that you really need to make about coaching middle school football. Let's go. What's up, Coach? I'm Eddie Young, and welcome to the Middle School Football Academy, your home for all things middle school football. Now listen, I know that you're gonna like something here, but I need you to share the wealth. Like, comment, subscribe, pass this on to somebody else. That way they know exactly what they need to think about when it comes to middle school football, okay? So today, we're talking about 7 assumptions, 7 things you need to keep in mind when it comes to coaching middle school football. And if you're ready, let's hop into it. The first assumption you need to make is that they don't know what they're doing. Now, I know, we're talking about 6th, 7th, 8th graders. You figure that they had some football experience. Coach, they probably don't. Listen, I coached youth football for a long time, Pop Warner ball, and I just knew that once I got to the middle school, these guys were gonna have some background in playing football. Nah, not so much, my boy. So what you gotta do is you gotta assume that they don't know anything. So that's gonna impact how you teach and how you coach, because the main thing you're gonna have to do, and keep this in mind, is you're gonna have to simplify. Keep everything as simple as possible, because a lot of these kids have absolutely no idea what they're doing out there. And it's our job as coaches to teach them and help them get where they need to be. The second thing you wanna assume about these kids, some of them just don't want to be out there. They are still at the age where mama and daddy just said, you know what, you're going out for football. Well, I don't want to play football. I want to stay in the house and play Fortnite. I don't care. You're getting out this house and you're going to run and play football. All right. You can't assume that all these kids have watched the NFL and college and high school ball, and now they know that middle school is their chance to really get it going and to make some inroads into their dreams. You can't assume that about them, Coach. A lot of these kids don't want to be out there. They're just like, it's just something for them to do. The third assumption you should make about your players is that football is not their top priority. Now, in some ways, this is the way it should be, correct? Because if you're honest, you know that school is important. You know that their family is important. If they have a particular faith is important to them. You know what else out there? Girls. Girls become really, really important. Their reputation around campus and in the neighborhood, that's really, really important to them. All these things add up, and somewhere, hopefully in between, hopefully not at the bottom, but somewhere in between all those things, football lies. But you can't assume that these kids want to be the very best football player out there, because it just might not be their top priority. It just might not be the most important thing to them at that time. The fourth thing you should assume about your middle school players is that they have short attention spans. Do not, sir, do not, ma'am, go into long explanations about things. You have to keep it short and simple and to the point. A very good example of this, we were literally in a game and I was talking with my offensive lineman, shout out to the big timers, and I literally was almost face to face with one young man, explaining to him exactly where he needed to block. And then off in the corner, off in the stands, I hear this young lady's voice say, "Oh my gosh, they look so big. They look so big with their pads on. They've been running around. Oh my gosh, is that Johnny? Oh, hey, Johnny." I'm face to face with Johnny now. Literally, Johnny turns around and is like, huh? They have short attention spans, Coach. Do not expect them to stay locked in with you the entire time, okay? So what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna have to find short, quick, pithy sayings, fast things to get them to understand what they need to do at that appropriate time. The fifth assumption that you absolutely have to prepare for, they're gonna make some dumb mistakes. They're gonna do some things that are just completely unexplainable. You just can't explain it no matter how hard you try. 2 stories, literally, my starting center got into a fight at school on game day. Just how? How do you do that? We literally have talked, we spoke with them for weeks about their behavior. And on game day, this dude gets into a fight. I'm telling you, they're gonna do some things that you just can't explain. Now that's off the field. On the field, the same thing applies. We had one young man who we literally told him, listen, when the tight end comes off the line of scrimmage, he's gonna run a seam. He's gonna run straight down the field. It doesn't matter what else is going on. That tight end is your responsibility. I told him, the head coach told him, the offensive coordinator told him, every coach on that sideline told him he was responsible for the tight end. So you know what happened? Other team snapped the ball, tight end ran a seam, ran right by the young man. Got on the sideline, I didn't know what to do, coach. They're just gonna do some things that you just can't explain. You coach them up as best as you can. You try to give them the right information. Don't let it run your blood pressure up though. The sixth assumption is something that we as coaches, especially coming off of COVID, that we have to understand, okay? We sat in hours and hours of online clinics. We listened to high school coaches, college coaches, NFL coaches talking about all the different installs and all the different packages. You're gonna have to assume that it's not gonna work with your kids. If you want it to work, you probably need to take the smallest, minute detail, the smallest thing that you can implement and start there. Don't introduce them to the whole NFL package that you saw in that Zoom clinic, because I promise you, you will be frustrated, okay? Because once again, a lot of these kids have never played football before, or they've only played flag, or they've only played out in the street just running around being an athlete, which is cool. All that stuff is good. But when it comes to playing organized tackle football, if they don't have the background, if they don't have the pedigree or the football IQ, like we always say, if they ain't got it, they ain't got it. Don't assume that what you saw in that Zoom clinic is gonna work immediately. Now, the last assumption is something that's more focused on off the field, but you need to assume that you are the only positive role model in that player's life. Okay, lots of our players, doesn't matter their race, religion, creed, ethnicity, you know, where they're from, their socioeconomic background, all that stuff doesn't matter. They may have a jacked up home life, and what you show them during practice and in the game is the example, maybe the one example that they have of someone who's doing the right thing. You might be the only person that they interact with who is making legal money. You might be the only person that they interact with who doesn't just blow up when something goes wrong. You might be the only person that he or she interacts with that has a positive life. You need to take care of that. You need to take care of them. Help them see something good in their life every single day that they see you. All right, coach, that's it for today. Listen, I really, really appreciate you coming back, checking out these videos. If you haven't already, please join us on Facebook at the Middle School Football Academy. We're gathering a community of other middle school football coaches where we can share ideas, talk about different things, and really encourage each other, okay? So like this video, comment, subscribe, that way you see each video as it comes out. And until next time, let's go change the game.